Hey there, YouTube friends. Back around 2012, I built a Crawlspace door for my buddy Tom, and while the door came out great, my instructional video wasn't so hot. So today I'm going to redeem myself by building my own door, and I'm going to be a little bit more detailed with the instructions, so let's get to it. Alright, first I want to show you the door that I'll be replacing. As you can see, it's all beat up and it's falling off the hinges. And now I want to show you a little bit of anatomy. You need something to secure the door to. So this is actually a 2x4 covered by white aluminum. If I swing around right here, you can see this is just a 2x4. And I have brick. Your circumstance might be different. You might have block, or you might have a poured foundation. And if you have an existing frame, you could use that. But if you have to make one, all you're going to do is get yourself some 2x4s and get a hammer drill and drill that frame right into the block. I'm going to use the existing frame I have, and we'll get right to making the door right now. Alright, so now we're going to take 3 measurements, top, middle, and bottom. So at the top I'm 34.5 inches, in the middle I'm 34.5 inches, and the bottom I'm 34.5 inches. So that tells me the door frame is straight. Alright, now I'm going to measure the height of the door. And over here I'm about 69 10/16. Over here I'm about 69.5. And over here I'm at about 69. So I'm going to have to cut the door probably a little crooked at the bottom to compensate for that. Some people had questions in regard to what hinges I used in the first video. These are the hinges I'm going to be using today. This is National Hardware, and this is a gate hinge. I got it at Lowe's, and you get 2 to a package, and I think it cost about 13 bucks. So how I'm going to attach the door to the frame is with this hinge, and this hinge just goes like this. So we have this side of the hinge going into the frame, and this is going to get attached to the door, and then we can just swing out like that. Now I have to compensate for this little bit of thickness on the hinge, so I'm going to deduct that from the width of my measurement. So if my measurement's about 36.5, I'll probably take off another 1/4 inch. So instead of 34.5, I'll cut it maybe at 34.25. But I'll do that measurement now to get it exact. Okay, so I'm measuring from the left side of the door frame to the right side with the hinge, and it's going to be about 34 5/16. Here's a shot of the boards I'll be using to construct the door. They're all pressure treated. On the left hand side I have a bunch of 1x6s, and on the right hand side I have a bunch of 1x4s. And the 1x4s I'll use for the strapping, and these are all 6-foot lengths. Okay, I actually lucked out. I laid the 1x6s down, and these 6 1x6s that I have laid down in front of me actually comes to 34.25 of an inch. I'm not going to worry about that extra 1/16 of an inch. That's not a big deal. So I won't have to rip these boards down. I'm good to go. Now I just have to put the strapping on and make sure they're cut to height. Okay, now I'm going to cut my 1x4s that I'm going to use for strapping down to 34.25 inch lengths. Okay, so now I'm going to make this one 34.25. Okay, this is going to be my 3rd strap at 34.25. Okay, so lying down on the ground, that's the basic premise for the door and how it looks with those 3 straps on. But we have more to do. The door is a little too long now, so I got to cut it to height. Alright, now I'm going to cut down all my 1x6s so they are the proper height. Okay, now that I have my boards cut to the proper length, I laid them out on the ground, and this is the top of the door right here. And I want to get it as flush and as tight as possible. So I have all these boards pressed together real tight, and at the top I'm totally flush. Alright, now at this point I'm going to attach the top strap to the 1x6s. And the way I do it isn't necessarily the way you have to do it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to brad nail this strap in with 1 1/4 inch brad nails and then screw it from the back. If you just want to screw it from the front, you could do that, but you're going to see the screw holes. So that's why I like to do it like this. Again, when you make your own door, do it your own way. Whatever you like, whatever makes you happy. I'm just going to go right across and make sure I'm flush, and I'm going to make sure I'm tight. Okay, for this middle strap, I determined I want it about 31 inches from the top, so I'm just going to brad nail that in as well. Alright, so before I put on this bottom strap, I'm just going to pick it up and flip it over. Get this stuff out of the way. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to start driving in 1 1/4 inch deck screws from the back. Alright, now I'm doing the same thing to the middle strap. Okay, so now before I put the bottom strap on the door, I'm just going to take this to the side and make sure it fits. If it's too tall, I could always trim some off the bottom before I put that strap on. Alright, so there's the door with the 2 straps on. It's a little tight, so I'm going to trim a little bit off the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to take about 1/4 inch off these 2 boards. I'm not going to worry about if it's crooked. I'll fix that later, but I'm going to use my circular saw to do that. So now I'm putting this bottom strap on, and I'm just going to overhang it at the bottom a little bit where it's all uneven so you won't see it. And that should be good. I'm just going to brad nail it in. Okay, now with that bottom strap in place, I'm going to try to complete the look of the door by making some vertical pieces right here. I believe the correct term would be a stile in terms of doors. So I'm going to make 4 stiles and we'll tack them in. Okay, so now we're just going to tack these in. Alright, now I'm just going to finish screwing it off. Now this door is pretty heavy. I'm going to put 3 hinges on, and I'm going to hope that it holds. Okay, I have the door in place, and at the bottom of the door I placed a couple of pieces of laminate flooring just to keep it level and off the ground. And now I'm going to screw those hinges right in. Alright, now I'm just going to attach the latch. Alright, so now that latch will go like that, and we'll just put a lock in it. Okay, so the door is up. I think it looks pretty good. It serves its purpose. I hope the video was a help to you. Maybe you could use some of my ideas. As always, please subscribe and happy home improvement. I got to take these two little puppies for a walk right now, so I'll catch you next time.